Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MoonBabes Monday Night Live. This is Sonia G. We are talking about the energy. We are talking about the new 12D templates coming in. We are talking about the solstice energy, the retrograde energy, all of these collective unconscious things and fears that are coming up. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Invite your friends. This is an energy party. It's the MoonBabes Monday Night Live. Welcome, loves. I'm going to pin a comment. And of course, we're going to talk about the fact that tonight we have 24 hours left for the Goddess and Gods on Mission registration. Tomorrow, we have module 1 opening up. So if you have questions about that, let me know. Also, I haven't announced this anywhere else yet, but for Goddess on Mission, there will be a bonus where we're going to do the meditation tomorrow night to integrate this energy. So you guys know I always add bonuses. It's just a thing. It's a thing that happens. If you are not part of MoonBabes Society or Goddess on Mission, I will be going live here on Instagram on Wednesday, and you can catch the meditation while we do it live, okay? So I'm going to give a note because this is the way that I can help the most people. I can't hold everybody on my Zoom, so those that are in MoonBabes Society, those that are in Goddess on Mission, and those that are in the mastermind that have the 2 bonus months of the MoonBabes Society are going to have that, okay? Are going to have the link. So this is a big bonus. Wanted to get announcements out of the way, and let's get into the energy and everything that's going on, okay? So we are 1 week out of the solstice. It's actually happening. We have a solar eclipse on the 20th. We have the solstice on the 21st, and we have a huge energy shifting that's happening. I looked at the astrology. We were talking about this today, and it's a huge cycle, okay? What's happening right now is we're closing out. Think about these dates, okay? Think about what was happening for you in 1996, in 2004, and then in 2012, okay? This is the stuff that's coming back up, that's closing out right now, okay? These are the cycles of Venus and the Earth. This is the Pleiadian energy coming around. This is closure time. This is what the Mayan astrologers would call all of the underworlds. The underworlds are closing out since it started happening in 2012, and we're just closing out underworlds. And it's so accurate to me, to what it feels like in the energy right now, because things are just, they're having to close out. And time exponentially continues to go faster and faster because we're dimensionally leveling up, right? We keep on going up, and that's what it feels like. It feels like bottoms are falling out and we're climbing new levels of ourselves, integration after integration of higher energy, of higher self, of higher frequency. Dimensions are opening up higher and higher and higher. So nobody really thought this was going to happen, because it's always like, it always kind of comes to this, right? And I talk to other light workers that are like way showers and grid workers. There's really like a couple of people that I talk to in terms of like, hey, are you feeling this too, right? And it's crazy because when 12th dimensional energy hit the Earth grid to stay, which was at the end of last year, it was with the 10-10, 11-11, 12-12 portals, okay? It was in that range where the bloodline clearing work started coming up like big time, and we had to do all that stuff, which is now all in the crash course, okay? Because all of these new levels started coming in, and we started being able to restore our divine, original soul divine's blueprint. So literally the things that we came on planet Earth to do. And so all of a sudden, we have to clear all this karma. All this karma has to clear out so that we can step into divine purpose, which is not karma, okay? So let's clear this up very briefly. Karma is what we have entangled ourselves with in the cycles of time as distortions happened, as we have chosen to incarnate and or we incarnated, right? Because of different reasons, our soul decided to. There was always a choice. So remember that whenever you feel disempowered, there's always a choice, okay? We had a choice. That choice got diluted through times and through the cycles and through the distortions, and we created karma. Because at every lifetime, you forget what your mission was, what your soul was here to do. And so then it got tangly, and then you're like, damn it, I gotta go to earth and fix this, right? Like my soul signed up for this thing. So this is how karma happened, which was not the original divine blueprint. There were distortions in that. This is our personal choices and our personal alignment. Then there's also a network of people that figured out how to fuck with frequencies and pollute the airways, which are actually the dimensional frequencies, the radio stations that our mind tunes into. And so this process got widely distorted, okay? And so this is some of the stuff that has been needing to get cleared out that we're coming up with this, like, you know, the Great Awakening and everything else that's coming up right now. So karma stuff we had to clear up over here, divine purpose and original divine blueprint, going back to, hey, the earth was birthed to be the library of knowledge, okay, is over here. And so these two things are coming together. You have to clear out the karma to begin to realign yourself with the original coding that is you. This is the stuff that's coming out in our DNA. It's coming out in our blood. It's being activated by the plasma rays that are in the sun, okay? So astrologically speaking, I tell you guys this all the time, but it's a reference point for you to understand this. When your soul was birthed on this planet, okay, in this universe, your soul literally went through the portal of the sun. That's where you picked up the encodings that make up who you are in your sun sign, okay? And then you picked up the moon sign, and everywhere where the zodiac was at, where the planet was at, which is like our family, our divine family up there in the stars was, okay? Those are our encodings. That is what tells us, that's the frequencies, that's the knowledge, those are the codes that our soul knows how to behave by. It's like, hey, you're going into this system, this is the quadrant, planet Earth, here's your instruction manual, okay? You're gonna deposit everything you know now at the Akasha. Your Akasha is going into the Akashic records, and you're going for planet Earth. You know, good luck. Here's, all of your codes are in your birthday, right? And all of these things. The rest of the codes come in your name. That's something that comes up in Goddess on Mission. We actually decode all of these things. It's actually really, really cool. So there's a thing, you know, when you're born, think about it. If you were in a system, if you were in a place where you knew everything and then you were born and you could just leave yourself one clue, what would that clue be? How would you be able to remind yourself of certain things, right? The only thing that you are born with is literally your birthday. And you have the ability from the womb in your soul to influence your parents, your mom specifically, right? In naming you, in the energy that the letters of your name carry. This is the thing. Okay, this is a thing. That's why, and a lot of times also mothers have last minute changes. Like they've been planning on a name forever, and then all of a sudden a baby is born, and it's like, nope, this is so-and-so, and you just know, okay? And that's that sixth sense, that connection, that mother connection, right? The instinct that women have that's called the sixth sense, which is really just your connection to beyond. So in any case, these are inspired choices. It's never an accident. It's not by mistake, okay? So I'm going to answer this because it's coming up and I saw it, and I know that some of you have commented this, but we have a comment that says, I hate my name. So when I was little, I felt the same way. And I learned to love it, and now I couldn't imagine not having my name. My name is everything. Like, it's so become, like, if you look up what your name means, like my name, Sonia, means wisdom, the wise one. And it's not a common name. When I was little, I would tell people my name was Vanessa. I would tell people my name was Stephanie. Then my mom would come in and, you know, call me by my name. And it just didn't feel comfortable, okay? It didn't feel comfortable on me because it's a name that carries a vibration. Names carry a vibration. So if there is anything in your life that you feel like saying something like that, I hate this, change it. Okay? Change it, literally. Go by a different name. It's not okay. Like it's more hurtful for you to have anything about you that you hate. Like change it. Blow the energy of it. It's not like if you hate where you live, the city where you live, move. Okay, it's so important at this point of the game in Ascension. If you don't like something, change it. We literally have the ability to do that, okay? So make sure that you understand it. Go look up your name. Go look at the letters. Go look at the numbers. Maybe there's a message in it. Maybe there's a reason why you feel so strongly about it that, you're like, oh, this name, what is it about this name? That it will make you look it up and look at numerology and look at the meaning of your name and look at the etymology. And, there's so much behind it. And then you'll be like, holy shit, this was the message all along. Now I get it. Now I love it. Right? Sometimes you don't understand it. Or you'll be like, this is absolutely not my name. I got to change it. Right? There's a lot of people that change their legal name because they just don't feel it. And sometimes, that inspiration doesn't come through parents. So the bottom line is numbers and names carry a very specific meaning. And so there's a meaning in there. If you don't feel it for you, if it itches, like it has to come off your skin, right? Then there's a reason for it, but that's how significant it is. It means there's serious energy that comes with it. Point is, we left ourselves clues in our birthday and in our name, okay? So these are the things that we get to unravel in life. So from the sun, we got our encodings, okay? And every time we need an upgrade, like a software upgrade, it comes through the rays of the sun, okay? And that's why since there's a whole lot of controversy, and let's just open a quick parenthesis about this, like with sunscreen and like all these things. Like the sun is good for you. It became something that a lot of people believed it's bad for you because what happened was in the Middle Ages, they figured out that if you were outside in the water, in the air, in the moonlight, then you knew things because you were with nature, and therefore you must be a witch and you must be burnt at the stake. God forbid you're in the sun. This was one school of thought, okay? The other school of thought was, it's not cool to be out in the sun because if you're rich and you have money, you're in a castle and you're inside. Therefore, if your skin is white, it means that you don't have to work outside in the sun, right? You don't get tan, your skin doesn't go dark, therefore, you're elite. And so there's this whole thing about hey, let's not get out in the sun. And these are things that, so it was like a marking of people. And it got so weird, while instead all the people that were working the field and were out in the sun and in nature, they've always known, they've had that inner knowing. They were always guided by something higher, right? But that's why later it was in the history of things, it was, changed. And that's why, whatever, let's not get into all of this. But in any case, you're understanding what I'm saying. The codes come from the sun. It's plasma light, okay? It gets activated, it comes through, we receive it through our skin, and we receive the impulses, we feel it, it's boom, 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 right? It's in the Schumann resonance. If you see it, if you go look at it right now, you'll see it looks like a code. Literally, it's like, oh, we're getting a transmission. You can see it, it goes like this, right? And then there's big chunks, and then there's little chunks. It's like, this is the encodings coming in. These are why they're called the light codes. It's plasma light through the sun that comes in a form, which is sacred geometry, so they're called light codes, okay? This is what it is. They hit your skin and they deliver messages. It's like a particle that wakes up a part of you that knows certain things, okay? However, what happens is, why do we do the work? Why do we have to do all this emotional healing? Why do we have to do all this bullshit, going through the dark night of the soul and everything? Why can't we just go in the sunlight and get activated? Well, because if you don't have room for the activation to come through, you don't have room. You can't download the new program, okay? Your bandwidth is full. Your computer usage is done, right? Memory full. It's like overload. And so that's why we do the work to clear, because the feelings that we hold on to, hate, fear, worry, anxiety, overwhelming, like even boredom, right? The other day I posted a thing. If you guys don't know the Abraham Hicks emotional scale, Google it, write this down. Abraham Hicks emotional scale, okay? It talks about the energy and how it spirals up and how it spirals down, okay? And how at the bottom of it's like fear, right? And up here it's joy and love, right? Which is why people always talk about like the different vibrational levels, but you can see it. And what happens is when you start the spiral down, you have to find a way to get yourself back up. So when you're up here in the spiral, so this is why we do the work, because we feel all of these horrible feelings, right, over here, which you can't hide if you want to ascend. There's no pretending, okay? There's only doing the work. There's no saying, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. It doesn't, you can't pretend these things. Like this is the part where life gets really real. Okay, it's not like corporate America where you fake it till you make it. Trust me, I know that story really well. Not how it works over here. There's no bypassing this shit. Side note, the people that talk about spiritual bypassing, you clearly have not gone through the work, okay? And I'm not saying this is you, but I'm saying there's a lot of people out there that are saying, you're not dealing with this shit. This is spiritual bypassing. It's not, it's spiritual bypassing. That means that you're miserable. If you're even using that word, it means that you're a miserable soul that has not figured out how to do the work. Therefore, you're figuring out how to skip ahead without doing the work. That doesn't work, okay? Saturn is not retrograde to teach us these things. Saturn is retrograde because he's the teacher. He's the guy that you're like, did you do your homework, okay? It doesn't matter how you fucking do your homework. You can do it in 3 hours or you can do it in 30 hours, but did you do it? Okay. And if you did it, you're good, right? You're golden. If you didn't do it, then, you know, you're the one figuring out what spiritual bypassing means because you're like, why is this shit not working for me? So it's kind of funny. People throw that word around a lot, but there's no such thing because if you do your work, you're there. If you don't do your work, you're not there. Okay. And it's just that simple. So it's really not very complicated. So like you just can't fake it. It's not a faking thing. There are people that I guess try, but then, you know, if you're in your heart and you know, like just be in your heart and then you know, right? You feel it, that people are not really emitting the right frequency. Like their words don't match their energy. It's really simple to see. So, okay, I digress with this whole thing. So you do the work because you have to clear the density. Emotions have, you know, like heavy emotions. We talk about it. It's like treading through the mud. It feels heavy. It feels, you know, like, it's like all these dense emotions. And a lot of times while you're like going through awakening, it's a lot of pissed off. It's a lot of what the fuck. It's a lot of like, holy shit, right? Like you're going through these big emotions. It's like, oh my God, I've been lied to. I've been cheated on. Like, you know, it's not just the people, it's this, it's that. And you're discovering all these things and you have to go through all the conspiracy theories and you're figuring all this shit out and you're like, what the is going on in this world and why did I not know this stuff, right? So you go through this phase. This stuff gets out. A lot of feelings that in our society and our culture gets bottled up, okay? You get bottled up, you get given prescription, not dealing with shit, right? Like just put a Band-Aid on it, move on. You know, we don't cry here, we keep going. This is just the society that we're born in because everything is fast, fast, fast and everybody has to keep up. So like, da, 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 right? And then it's like, poof, until you pop. So when that happens, you realize you have to clear through all these things because you're trying to go really fast, but you're holding on to all this baggage that is really dense and it's like balls and chains. You're trying to run through life with like these balls and chains. They're emotions. Emotions is energy in motion, okay? And it's heavy and it's weighing you down and it's taking up a lot of density. It's literally, trauma is energy that gets stuck in your tissues. And so you feel it. Your body hurts. It's fibromyalgia. Then your body rebels on itself and you have like the autoimmune diseases, right? And then you have allergies because you're fucking allergic to the world that you live in because you're just like running all of these programs that are just dysfunctional. That's what happens. So you have to clear, reprogram, clear, let go, forgive, let go, reprogram, right? Get lighter. That's what happens. And so if you're lighter, you have room for the upgrades. You have room for the new programs. You have room to learn, to grow, to understand. If you're holding on to all of these things of the past, you're anchored in the past, there's just no room. You're tapped out. I hope this is making sense. So that's why we do the work. So now that we're clear, if you're not doing the work, the upgrades don't make sense. The light codes don't make sense. None of the shit coming out in the sun, you're like, what the fuck, I'm getting sunburned. This is not doing anything for me, okay? So that is the thing. And see, yes, absolutely. So you guys are understanding what I'm saying. So the point is, I get asked this a lot, and it's one of the questions that has come up too through this like round of questions, because I know the energy is heavy, and so we need to just navigate through it. And of course, we want to navigate through it as a collective, right? So that's why I help you guys, because it helps everybody. And I hope you share the things that you learn. Please share the things that click with you as you're here listening. Okay, share with your people. Share something that's helped you. Doesn't mean do it on social media, but do it with like your friends. You know, the ones that you care about, like that stuff. Because these things need to. And maybe you do have a following. Maybe you are a coach, and maybe you can share with more people. Where whatever level you're comfortable at, do that. Okay, maybe a little more, maybe a little push, maybe a little higher, right? Just try it out. Just try it out. So, and if you're a goddess on mission, we're gonna go beg on this stuff. Goddesses and gods on mission, right? Because this is what it's about. But the point is, you get to the understanding that we're moving through these waves of energy as a collective, and so we get to help each other out. Right? Because then it's easier. When more people are going through something, there's like a momentum, there's an energy, there's a wave, there's a motion, right? It's like the snowball effect. And so we're moving through it faster the more people awaken, which is why we're at where we're at right now, where these new templates are coming in. And it's like, holy shit, so many people in the world are doing their job. They're awakening, they're going through their shit, they're understanding, they're dealing with their childhood traumas, they're remembering who they are, they're remembering what they showed up for, right? And so now all of a sudden, we're like, oh my gosh, we are dealing with a whole new world that's coming in. Can you be high and then all of a sudden suddenly heavy? Yes. So great question and great comment. And that's because we are literally weaving through dimensions. So whenever that happens, you're moving through dimensions. Okay. And so you're like, you're getting higher again, you're moving through, right? So you're like, say you're doing a cycle. You're like, okay, literally, this is how it goes. You're like, oh my gosh, this feels unstable. Okay, let me figure this out. Creative ways to deal with it. All right, okay, this sucks, I'm gonna deal with it. Willpower on, I can do this, I can deal with it, I can release, I can forgive. Open the heart, I forgive, I feel the love, I feel supported. Okay, I'm gonna stand up in my truth about it. I'm gonna speak up, I'm gonna talk about it, like I'm gonna own it, right? I'm gonna own it, and then it's like, oh my God, I see the light, I'm gonna share it, okay? That's a cycle on something. Do you see how this goes through your chakras? It's like boom, 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 boom. Okay, so you go through that and it's like a cycle of something. And then when you're up here and you're reaching and all of a sudden you're light and you're like, I am tapping into like 7th, 8th, 9th, 12th dimensional energies. Like everything is amazing. And then you can't really sustain it quite yet because there's something else in your life that comes up and it's like, boom. And it's like, damn it, I'm back here. I got to release this one out. Okay, let's do this, right? Let's move through it. Okay, what do I got to look at? And then you get really good at this stuff. Once you do it a few 100 times, you're like, okay, now I know how to move through it, right? Because there's a way, you move through the energy of it. So that's kind of what happens. And obviously I'm making it really simple, but these are like things. The more you do it, the more you deal with hard things and you get yourself through them, the more you have like muscle memory. It's like muscle and emotional and mental, spiritual memory. And you're like, oh, I know how to move this through, right? Like when things hit me now, it's like, oh, I take them on. They're really hardcore. I get into it. I cry. I feel I feel it all. And then like I move through it, right? And it's like, usually it takes me like 24 hours and I'm over it. There's no 30-day dark night of the soul in my life anymore, but those did exist, right? Sometimes it goes through and it takes a while. So just know that it gets better. Know that you get better. Know that you learn, you're resilient, you have memory, like muscle memory, and you can get through it faster. Every time. It's like, every time know that like, okay, I remember, I can do this better, right? And it gets like that. So we're moving through these things because we're closing out these cycles. Again, cycles from 1996, 2004, and 2012, Okay, so anything that is undone from these cycles, not undone, but is not like closed, anything that has to be, the energy has to reach completion. Okay, it has to go through the cycle. And so you learn the lesson, it has to go through completion, then it's coming up. And so the faster you are at weaving through it, then the higher you're going to get up there. Okay, so that's the job. And we're clearing through a lot of stuff because we're making room. We're making room because the new templates are coming in. So we have dealt with enough. It means that so many of us have gone through so much and so many different things that we've actually cleared enough that we can see through the bullshit of what's going on in the world. And now we're showing up, right? And now we're going higher. And so it's like, okay, we're ready. There are enough light workers, enough healers, enough people that know how to hold frequency to the point that we're getting a whole new template. And so we're going to find out what this looks like, but we're closing out a whole cycle of 12D energies with this solstice. This is insane. Like, this is amazing. It's like, it means that we've gone through so many dimensions so fast that now we're getting the codes. These are like all new earth. This is all for new earth. So this is like a whole new entire huge cycle that's coming in, and it's starting to come in. This is what I see, okay? I won't know for sure until the energy hits, and then I can tell you, because I can feel it coming in right now, but it hasn't hit the ground yet. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. Like, I feel it, I go up there, I see it, I'm like, holy shit, it's really coming. Like, it's actually gonna hit the planet. And so when it comes, then I'll be able to, decode it and understand it more, because then I can tap into it physically. When we go through the astral plane, we have the ability to understand it through our astral body, and then we have to integrate it. When it comes on the planet, I can use all of my senses to decode it, right? And so it's easier. Use all the skills. This is all the stuff I teach you guys in all the courses, okay, and all the things. But and so we're getting these new templates, which means that we're really going to hit, like, think about even how much life has changed in this past year. So that is a representation. Like, this last year, 12 months felt like 12 years. Like, it's just so many things that happened. And it's like, and now we have a whole new world that's waiting for us to code it. So the people, those of us that have done the work to clear, to hold more frequency, to hold higher, higher vibrational stuff, we're going to be storing it. We're going to be translating it. We are the ones that are reactivating all of you. So each one of you that's on here, clearly you're listening to this for a reason. I'm just saying this is not something that is like happening to everyone, because not everybody is aware of it, right? So, but we are rebirthing the library of knowledge through our blood. It's in our DNA, okay? It's literally inside of us. And then through that, we are emitting the frequencies that are recoding the entire planetary sphere. And that's what's happening. So that's why you feel weird. That's why you feel pulses. That's why you feel like your brain is like reconnecting. That's why you feel like, there's just things happening inside of you you just can't quite explain. But you get to know them, okay? And so just spend some alone time and be with yourself and go inwards instead of being outward, right? Go inwards and actually figure out how your body works, how your spirit works, figure out the mental parts of you that are talking to you, okay? Figure out the parts of you that want to come in, like talk to your voices, talk to your people. Like this is something that's manifesting for a reason, okay? My reminders are coming up. I have all sorts of reminders on my phone that tell me to be grateful and to tap into, my heart and to connect with the earth. So if you don't have that on your phone, I highly recommend it. Okay, well, that came up. So what else do I want to talk to you about? We talked about the things that are coming up. We talked about moving through them. We talked about recoding. And the solstice. The solstice it's very important to be in the sun that day, in the sun and in the water. If you can be in both at the same time, gold, okay, that's gold. Because it's just easier, like it's going to be easier for you to absorb and to facilitate this integration. It's like a rebirth, right, that's happening. So we're gonna start getting the codes and we're gonna start getting the energy. We'll see if it hits, okay? We'll see if it stays on the grid. So we're gonna need to anchor it in. And so if you're a light worker, if you're a grid keeper, like if you are out there working with the portals, okay, you know that this is incoming because we can feel it. And so we have to ground it. We have to grid it for everybody. So we are the ones that are in charge of being the transducer. You have to pull it in, hold it in your body, and get it grounded. You have to send it to the crystals, okay? And you have to send it to the grid. Crystals at the core, at the heart of the earth, and then to the grid, on top of the earth. Higher vibrational, new earth grid, okay? Not the 5D grid. The 5D grid got infiltrated. And what was so funny is I was talking to a client who is an amazing soul sister on the other side of the planet. And she was telling me, and she was like, I remember when you said, oh my God, the 5D grid got infiltrated, because I was in this group with these people that I was feeling icky about. And they were like, yes, we infiltrated the 5D grid. And she was like, what the hell? I'm watching this play out. And I was like, no way. There are people that are like celebrating, like the dark forces are real. There are representatives of the dark side of the energy here. There are people that want to control the planetary sphere, because that's like the whole Luciferian agenda, right? Where it's like, this is the way that things should be, like Hitler. This is the way that things should be, therefore everybody needs to do it this way, and that's the only way, and let's do it that way. Boom, nobody gets to vote, right? That's like the kind of energy that we are going up against, is the fact that we actually, have the right to be into individuality and being into an individual expression of who we are, of ourselves, and everything else that we came to do. And we're rebirthing the Gaia's library, which is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is a big deal in the galaxies. It's a big deal in the Milky Way galaxy. And for some people, they don't understand this. They just understand that it's this weird stuff that's going on inside of them with all of these ascension symptoms, and the world is going crazy. It's like the world is losing, everybody's losing their shit. People are going crazy. I don't understand what's happening in the world. Well, here we go, right? So our planet happens to be a big deal in this thing called the solar system, which is, we call it the solar system. Other people don't call it the solar system. But we are attached to a spiraling energy that intertwines us with Alcyone, which is the central sun of the Pleiades, okay? Where our peoples are, where our crew is over there. They're like our next of kin in terms of like planetary spheres, right? The Pleiadians. And we're intertwined. Like our solar systems are like revolving on each other, which is why Venus and Earth do this dance. It's like this beautiful sacred geometry dance, which are the cycles that we're clearing up right now, right? Each 8 cycles, like the revolutions of Venus around the Earth do this beautiful pentagram of Venus, which is amazing. If you have never seen that, you can go look it up. It's beautiful. And so anyways, there are dances. There are celestial bodies intertwining. So we have brothers and sisters in the stars that are helping us out. This is why all this stuff is coming up. This is why everything seems really weird, because our reality is not just what we have been told or trained to see and feel and taste and everything else. It's different. It's much more beyond that. And all of a sudden, enough of us are able to grab this frequency and broadcast it to let other people know, hey, wake up, this is available. Like, just because you haven't been told, right? Just because you haven't been told that you could do this. Like, I remember the moment where for the first time in my life, I met a person that could see auras, and I was like, oh, like, that's a thing. People actually can see colors around people. You can see the air. Like, there are colors. Are you kidding me? Like, this is something. And all of a sudden it became like, it's like something clicked in me that it was possible, just because I'd never even heard people talk about it before, right? So from that moment, I was like, if somebody can do it, then I can do it. Then I want to do it. I got to figure it out. And that's really the thing. It's just, we grow up not knowing. Nobody teaches us these things, and so we don't know the things, so we don't know how to look for them, because we don't know what we don't know. We just don't, right? And so you either spend a lot of time meditating and like these things come in, which has been my whole strategy plan. Or you learn, you go through a lot of books, or you have other things, or you go to heal, like whatever you do. But like we have to expand, because knowledge is power, right? So knowing these things is power, because then you know what's going on. You can see beyond, you can see more, you can feel more, like you see through reality. So it's important to do it. And these are all things that are good to know right now. Like, don't stop at the same old stories. This is the time where we go beyond that. Like, they're done. They're done. Like the victim stuff, it's done. It's been played out. It's like a story that's been played out. Okay? Like, I need to take a sip of water. But like, when there's a song. Oh yeah, let's talk about this really quick. Let's talk about how energy works. One sec. So how there's a song, and when you were a little kid, and I still do this to this day, and you love the song and the music speaks to you and you're like on replay, right? Replay, let's hear it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again, right? Like little kids do it. Because notes hold frequency, they hold energy, they tell us stories, they have an activation, okay? They have an energy. And then all of a sudden, you know how you're like done with the song and you're like, oh my God, this song is so done. I can't hear it anymore. Because the energy held in the song has played out. You have received it all. There's no more room for the energy held in that song. Like you're done. It just doesn't resonate. There's no more, okay? There's no more room. It's the same thing for the cycles of life, okay? So we're kind of at that point where people are talking about these things and like, oh yeah, but this happened and then this happened again. And then, this thing keeps happening in my life. Like, play out the energy. Like it's the same thing over and over and over. Just stop. Like get your chakra spinning in the different, in the opposite direction. Like move it. Like it's done. Stop telling the same story. If you tell the same story, you're going to get the same outcome, and the same outcome doesn't get you to new earth, right? Unless you're already living there. But do you see what I'm saying? So if you're just like, oh, this is hard, and I'm going to sit, like, I don't know how to deal with this, and I just can't see a way out. Look, every problem is born at the moment that there's a solution. There's no problem without a solution, because that's the split of the atom, okay? If you got an issue, there's a way to deal with it. Always. It doesn't seem like it, and I'm saying in a very like hardcore way, because it's just time that we move through certain things, okay? And so determine to move through it. This is the important part. Make a commitment that you're going to show up for yourself and that you're going to do the work. Doesn't matter if you don't know what the fuck the work is, okay? Decide. I am done with this. I am moving forward. This is just not what I want. This is where I want to be. I am done. God, angels, universe, higher self, help me God, show me the way. That's all you got to do. Then you pay attention, but you have to mean it. You can't half-ass that shit. We don't half-ass things anymore, okay? You have to actually ask, like show up for it. Like if you want it, show up for it. If you don't want it, and if you're more attached to your petty problems, like my mentor Gary says, what does he call them? Your petty hangups. Do you want your petty hangups or do you want your dreams? That's what he says, okay? And it's like, yeah, what do you want? So, actually do it. Actually do the thing. Like commit to the solution more so than you're committed to the problem, okay? And so that's where the shift happens. And so you don't necessarily have to know, but you have to be willing to receive the information on the tools and the how, okay? Because the path, when you want it that much, the path will always show up. It will make itself known. But that doesn't mean that you're going to listen, okay? So the path will show up, and then you have to decide again. Oh, I see this. This is the path. These are the steps I have to, make. It's like if one day you decide, I am going to deal with this once and for all. I'm breaking this habit. I am done with this toxic environment. I'm done with this toxic relationship. I'm making more money, whatever it is, okay? I'm done with this. I want this. You decide, you ask, right? You put it all in, and everything is like everything you got, okay? It's like that final bet, like you got to do it. Then the next day you wake up and all of a sudden you hear someone randomly that tells you about this thing, or something shows up in the mail, Or for whatever reason, your radio plays and you never listen to the radio and you hear this commercial about this thing and you feel the urge to listen to it. Like, pay attention to the fucking signs of the universe. If you ask for something, you have to learn to listen, because the answers will come to you in whichever way. They will make their way to you. You just have to actually be listening, okay? And so that's how that works out. You will be led and you will be guided, and you will find someone. Like, so many of you will tell me, I don't know how I ever found you. I don't know how I found you through, like, on your YouTube, like, or I can't remember if I found you on your website, like, because the answers will come and you will go through. And sometimes, you know, that's my website, or that's, you know, a live like this that you need to hear, right? And so it's like, you will be led to those things and you don't know how, but it's just the universe does its thing, because that's what happens, right? So when you put your faith in and your full force forward, then the universe has to show up, because that's just the law, okay? So that's how it works. So you can count on that, but you always have to do your part, okay? This is why we're here. So this is all that's going on. The next level of all these things that I'm telling you right here, like the actual work, okay, diving in, working through these things, moving through this stuff. We do this work in Goddess on Mission, and we do this work in the mastermind. We do this work in a lot of the courses that are available, and you guys have been going through all sorts of different courses. For those of you that are ready to figure out purpose and mission and actually stand in there, like, you know, you got something for the world. Like, you know, you got something inside of you that is like special, and it has to come out, and your soul wants to express itself through something, a service or a product for the world. That's what we do in Goddess and Gods on Mission, okay? We have amazing things. We have like, we have so far so many different, like, service oriented. We have books being written. We have apothecaries. We have stores being created. We have like courses being created on. We have so many, such an amazing group that has come together. And there's just amazing things that are being birthed from it. So if you feel called to deal with your stuff, to get in your purpose and to get in alignment so that you can show up and actually share your gifts with the world in a way that supports you, right? Because that's really what our soul wants. Like, what do you really want to do in the world? What do you want to share, right? That brings joy to your soul, that it's like, oh my God, if I could actually do that and make money with it, and I could like help heal people, or I could show people this, or, you know, like, whoa, that's like real. That's the feeling, right? Like, that's the thing. And you actually can do that. So we just put structure around that, meaning like, you know, the tools and the skills and the knowledge and the understanding of how to get this out of you, because all the answers are inside. You guys know this. The whole universe is inside. We just don't know how to get it, like, to where we can read it, right? It's like, how do I read my stuff? Like, how do I know? How do I get it out? And so we, like, you know, we unravel it and we figure it out together. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I came for. Like, holy shit, this is my message, you know? Like, holy cow, like, this is the purpose of my soul. I feel it, right? And you get in alignment with that, and then you're like, whoo, on fire. And then we figure out service offerings, we figure out products, and we figure out things like that. Some people already know, some people don't. And either way, we figure it out, okay? We unravel it out. And so that's Goddesses and Gods on Mission. And that's what we do. And so for some people last year when we ran this course, like, figured something out right away. And some people, it took a little while. But like, one of my favorite products that came out of Goddess on Mission last year, that was a physical product, not just like a service, it was organic Wild Rising wine. So shout out to Wild Rising. I am so excited. It's a mom and daughter that got in the course. And so I just, every so often I tell a story of someone that did something amazing from Goddesses and Gods on Mission. So last year it was Goddess on Mission. And wow, like, they have this beautiful service offering with this organic wine with all the love, and you just feel it in the packaging. There's stones, there's crystals. Like, I was like, you guys created something amazing. And so that's possible right? Like dreams coming true, like businesses being created that honor the cycles of the earth and like serve the people and bring like beautiful things in this world. That's our job. Like that's the things that we came here to do. We have like healers, we have all sorts of different things. So whatever it is, and if you don't know what it is, we're going to figure it out together, okay? And that's the mission part. And then we build a whole business. I take you through all the steps, the truth about why this course was born, not the how. The how was born because I actually saw that it became real for me, that the business part became real for me, and that I could actually do it, and I could do this sustainably, and it was going to work out, right? I could see that it was going to work. But the reason why, why I did it was because I was like, I couldn't find anything that was in alignment that could teach me how to do these things. Like the whole B school, or like that never really worked out. Like I just looked at the thing and I didn't, nothing against it. But, and then I took Gabby Bernstein's course because, she kind of paved the way for a lot of people, with the whole, like, my great work deserves to be supported. That's like a huge affirmation. I wore that one out for like ever, right? So she kind of started this thing, but it was never enough for like the grounds of the technical stuff and what to actually do. And so I remember feeling like, well, this didn't help after I did that. And then I had to figure it out myself. And so that's when I, like you have things and you're like, this didn't help. And so I pledged, I was like, you know what? Now that I figured it out and that I like made all these mistakes and I failed a million times and I spent the money to like, do it wrong and whatever. It's like, now that I know how to do it, now I can show people how easy it is, because people like to complicate the shit out of things, right? And like just, and you have to do this and you have to do that. And I spent all this money on all these websites and all these like automated like course things and whatever. It is so much simpler than that. So literally in this course, I show you exactly what I use. I send you screenshots even of the apps that I use, like anything. There is nothing that is off limits. Like I tell you guys exactly the ins and outs of everything, names of people I work with, like everything. I want you to be successful because the world needs that, right? And so this is a course where I teach you how to do the things that I did, and in different ways, so that they resonate with you, but the structure works, right? The structure works. And it's a very easy structure. But, I'm a Virgo, so there is a structure. So it will hold you through it, right? There is a structure to it. But it's also very right brain. It's very much like this is the course where the left and the right brain get along, right? Where we do both, where everything kind of, begins to take shape from like that place of oneness where everything can coexist. Like the logic and the healing can come together. Like it just all kind of makes sense together. So, registration is open until tomorrow night. Oh, and there's a million freaking bonuses. You guys, it's like ridiculous. I am teaching everybody in Goddess on Mission, and everybody that was in Goddess on Mission last year, you always get the bonuses. Every time I add new bonuses to any of my courses, if you registered 3 years ago, you still get the bonuses. Like it's amazing, okay? So I'm gonna teach everybody how to do readings the way that I do them, okay? And I'm so excited because the world needs more of this. And I have been asked by so many of you if I would just do it as like a separate class. But the thing is, I need you to understand certain things. And that's the reason why this stuff comes in with courses, because I need you to have a reference work. It doesn't matter if you have a business. So everybody that's in, even if you do the soul work, the Goddess and Gods on Mission soul work, which is the first half of the course, okay, which is the 4 modules with the bonus modules, and then all the bonus material. So you get the bonus of like the love and manifesting, you get the bonus with my mentor Gary, and then you also get this bonus of me teaching you how to do readings. I need you to understand how to work through the energy and how to get in alignment. That's why I need that part at least. Like I need that, because if you use the energy of the things I'm going to teach you how to do these readings, but you're not in alignment, it's just not going to work. Like it just doesn't come out right? So that's the reason why it's important. Okay, so questions. Let's see. Okay. I did the same 2 courses and felt exactly the same, Christine. Those 2 courses, right? You're like, wait, this is not enough. This is like skimming the surface of what this stuff is. It just didn't get in there enough. So yeah, I understand. And yeah, one of the things that I learned from those courses, and so you know, you always take it and then you move on and like you learn things from it. But like I remember what they do is anyways, let's not go there. Let's just say I did it to make things better. That's my way. I was like, that's just not what I wanted. So this is the course of what I wanted. Okay. And so that's what it is. So there we go. Okay, what if you don't want to start a business? Is our Goddess on Mission still okay to take? Yes, so that's a great question. So I actually got asked that question and I created the course split in half. So there's a part 1, which is just the soul work. So the course is divided in 2 parts. It's the soul work and then the tech work. I call it the tech work because, you know, it's like, first it's the right brain, then it's the left brain. Like we have to deal with all that. But basically for the first part, we go back through figuring out childhood, figuring out how to rewrite the story. We figure out your purpose, your mission. We do numerology. We actually get you to figure out in the first, by module 2, you will know your mission. You will know your purpose on planet Earth. It's like, boom, we start like this, super strong. And so we go through it and then you figure that out and then we start like understanding how to work with it, how to get in alignment, how that feels, okay? And then from when we start the tech, right, and we figure out your you know, basically like who you are, your message, your mission, your soul. From that, in the tech part, which I call the tech part, that's where we begin to organize it into like a product or a service offering and how to make it come through. And so for those that do want to do the business part, right, then we continue, obviously, and that's where we enter the entrepreneurial journey of like your Instagram and your website and what to do and like the tech stuff and the logo and the colors and the, you know, your taglines. Like I go through all of that, okay? Down to the colors and like everything, like all the things that people don't tell you. So we talk about the branding, we talk about the strategy, we talk about the marketing, but how to do that stuff in a way that feels good, not in a way that's like, well, you have to hit your numbers. That's bullshit. Anybody that talks to you about numbers, that's when it comes to marketing, and you have to talk to enough people and you have to like, no. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to do it quantum style because that's how we do. So it's a lot easier and it feels a lot better and it feels in alignment. And once I figured that out, I was like, oh my gosh, like seriously. And so it's, you know, I always say, like in the course I talk about it, like this is a process of shifting your business in the place where you're sharing your life purpose and your mission with your soul family. It's not about sales. It's like sacred sharing, right? It's about like you have to birth the things that you know you have to birth on planet Earth for others. And so that's really what that is. It's like, you know, the sacred journey of like doing the things you came to do. And so that's the part that I call the tech work, but it's really birthing, you know, what it is, or taking it to the next level, powering up your offering, like restructuring, like figuring that out, moving through the name, like we figure out the business name, we figure out, you know, URLs, like we figure out all of that stuff. So, and I share with you guys how I do my tech work, the company that does my stuff, like you have all of that. So it's amazing. Yeah. And I thought about like if people like, because I did the soul work part, and I wonder how many of you guys that register for the soul work are going to be like, shit, now that I know what I came to do, maybe I want to do the business part. So, well, you know, we'll cross that bridge at that time. This is the beautiful thing about it is I am in the mix. I'm right here with you. I love this stuff. I love teaching these things. All of you guys know you find me here, right? If you have a question, you know where to find me. I show up, right? And so we just go through it. If something is needed, something can be created. And so we can work through that. So we'll cross that bridge when it comes, like I say. So, okay. Questions. Okay. Can you put this on YouTube, please? Yes, I will. I know I've been leaving them here because they go on IGTV, and so I feel like the video's up, but yes, I'll put it on YouTube. Okay. Ta-da. It's amazing. Oh, Christy. Yay. She's in. It's amazing. It is an amazing course. It really is. Oh my goodness, as 3 deers come into my lawn, right as you said that. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. 3 deers. And 3 is like very divine support. So, number, amazing. Okay. Thank you. So by the end of module 1, I'll probably want to start a business. Stephanie says, it's possible. Maybe like 2, maybe give it 2 modules, give it a couple of weeks. But we go through it. Like, here's the thing. A lot of times, like, we don't know what we don't know. And you don't know how fast you can actually move through things until you have skills, right? And I've studied this stuff. Like, I was sharing on my stories today, like my first dark night of the soul was literally 20 years ago now. Like, it's crazy. And so that's when this process started. That's when I started refiguring out like the connection to God, angels, the universe, all of that. And, in 2007 is when I started really going hardcore in learning things. I got certified in everything that I could like find that was on alternative healing. Like all the things. I took every single course that my mentor Gary offered. I was like in. I did like a $30,000 program with him. Like, I was like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I have tasted the thing. I know this is alignment for me. I'm in, right? And so I studied everything he offered. And then through his courses, I found people that were like, oh my God, you can see aura. Oh my God, you can hear, heal people. Oh my God, fairies exist, right? So I was like, I want to do your course. I want to do your course. I invested so much to learn so many things because that's what my soul wanted, right? This is after I had my degree. This is after I had like my international business degree. I was like, that is not even a thing. Like, tell me about this other world that I didn't know about. So I learned all these things and then I've been able to practice them, right? And so there's years of practice there, and then you have a whole bag of tools that becomes very effective that I can teach you guys in very effective ways. And so my goal, what I want is for you to learn these things in a much shorter time, like so that it doesn't take you as long as, right? So if I can condense them and quantum leap you into these places, right, with giving you all of the tools, then you're ready and a lot faster. And like, I see it happening all the time and my heart just wants to burst. Like, so many times, like, people will begin to go through my courses and I was like, holy shit, it took me like 2 or 3 years and you just did that in 2 weeks. Like, that's amazing. That's amazing, So this is the quantum world. And my heart is just happy because this is what I want. I want to, teach this so that it's like it continues because I'm very clear. Like, I'm here to create new earth. I'm here to walk out with my light body and everybody wants to come with me. Like, this is what we're doing. So it's like, the more I can share and teach and the more you guys can go and share and teach, right? That's amazing. So beautiful. Yeah. So, we'll figure that out. If you guys start with the soul work and then you're like, damn it, I want to do this other part. We'll figure that out. Okay. So, we've had a major Schumann resonance spike today. Do you have a favorite exercise to shift your energy that's coming in? Yeah. So today it's like the encodings that are coming in. So let me finish saying this. The last day to register for Goddess and Gods on Mission is tomorrow, the 16th. Okay. So make sure you go and check it out, and then we'll see. I don't know if I will open registration again. It may happen again if I add something to it after I started feeling the feeling today. I was like, I wonder if something's going to come through with all of this, new stuff that's coming in. We're getting cut out. Okay. I love you guys. Let's jump on a new live and we'll talk about the Schumann resonance. Let's do that. Okay, that way we wrap this up nice. I love you. www.moonbabetribe.com, okay, is my website. Click on Goddess and Gods on Mission. Or here you can find me at MoonBabes and the Light Tribe. It's Sonia G on Instagram. Love you guys. See you in a minute on a new live.